biting, whether it's in the young children's room or in my room, I try to take responsibility for that. These children are not able to stop themselves from biting. Even in the toddler room with the twos, or certainly in the younger children's room, I feel it's my responsibility to look for these things. So if there is one who has just bitten, I would be looking for the next thing that he could chew on. One of the children has been, over the past month or so, has been having some difficulty with boundaries and her activity level. So the teachers in the room and I have decided to shadow this child to help her stay in control. Sometimes it's one person, usually it's one person, but sometimes as she moves from one part of the room to the other, someone else may take over being close to her. So we also have found that the best way to fade out the biting is to not let it happen in the first place. You can't do this with all ages. She is an older child who has some language. So we're keeping her from finding biting to be rewarding and finding other ways for her to get rewards and satisfaction. And I think that that is helping the biting fade out. She finds satisfaction from letting her know that her words are very strong, that she is in control by using words and doesn't necessarily have to bite. We also can provide her with appropriate things to bite. She's still young enough that she just may need to bite. We can provide something special that's just hers, possibly something from home, but something that's at the center that she could use to bite, something with a good, that gives her a good solid feeling when she bites into it. Caregivers have often found that providing a crunchy snack during the morning snack time will decrease the amount of biting that needs to go on later. Children have had the chance to exercise. Children at this age sometimes just need to exercise their mouth and their jaws and the muscles and feel how that feels. So a good sturdy snack in the morning can decrease some of the biting that you see later on. Sometimes young children go through these biting stages for a week or 2 weeks or even a month, and then it's gone for a while. It may come back, but it may just be entirely gone. And for that time, that child may need a little protected space to be in. He might be playing behind you with a toy or to the side of you while the other children are out here. You might just give him a little protected space to be in. Parent involvement in these biting situations is important, especially as the children get older. Parents can help us diminish the biting by helping us understand what's going on with the child, as in a partnership relationship, talking about what's going on at school, what's going on at home. Parents can be very helpful about biting. In our rooms where the children are two, talking at home with their children in a calm way about not biting is very helpful. Sometimes the children who are biting feel like they need to be strong and powerful and in control. And parents can encourage those children, when you need help, when you need a toy, be sure to tell your teachers. So we want them to be concerned, but we also have, at the other extreme, we have parents who are horrified that their child, who has been, innocent, has been bitten. And that is very sad, and we empathize with the parents too. We also have parents who can be horrified that their child is doing biting and feeling that this is a terrible, horrible thing. And so here we are stuck wanting the parent's cooperation in helping us stopping the biting, but not wanting the parent to overreact to the biting. Again, going back to, it is common. It is not abnormal in groups and in this age of children to have some biting. In order to teach someone, you can't really be angry at them. A young child is terribly scared when the adult is angry at them, and they don't hear what you're trying to teach them. So even though I'm feeling very emotional about that, I still might hug both people at the same time. If necessary and the child has been bit hard, I hug the one who's been hurt first and take care of them. I might need to take care of them right way, but I usually try to include the the child who has done the biting in all of this. It helps them see the emotion of the other child. It helps them see my caring and my concern, but I also still want to communicate to them that I'm not on anybody's side. I'm still here to protect everybody. And usually the child who's done the biting is scared in some way when there's a lot of commotion from the adults, a lot of crying, loud noise, and that child is frightened too in some way. So I try to include both kids for many reasons. It's a teaching situation. And I would say, oh, and both can hear, oh dear, that hurts. Oh, we need to get a cold cloth to put on it. I might put it under running water. Another teacher might hand me a cold cloth to put on it. And hugging and taking care of that child. And that hurts. And then I might say, she didn't like hurting. Do you see her face? And again, I'm very specific. Look at her face. Her face is sad. She's not happy. That really hurt. And I try to say these things with emotion, not just matter of fact, but not angry either, but just communicating the sadness of this. So I think timed outs are counterproductive. I think they just don't accomplish what we wished they were going to accomplish. We hoped it was going to teach him not to bite. See, look what I've done. You've been separated from your toys and your play. But I'm afraid that what we've done is we've lost the child. He didn't, he just was not able to attend to all those different things that were happening at the same time. Whereas if you keep him close to you and close to the other child, he feels like he's been not rewarded for biting, because it's a very sad situation here, but he can see what's going on and he can hear you talk about, oh dear. And I said, this is her arm. That hurt. And I might say then when they're both here, what did you want to say to him? Were you trying to tell us something? Was something happening that you wanted to say? Was this too close? Or did you want the toy? We want to model behavior for children. We want to model the kind of behavior we want from children, which is kind and loving behavior, cooperative behavior, talking behavior, and letting another child bite another child, or biting. Sometimes I've heard some grown-ups say, well, I'll just bite him and he'll know what it feels like. We're teaching that powerful people can hurt smaller people, and that's not what we want to teach. In order to set up a good teaching situation, children need to feel loved and protected. Even the ones who have inflicted pain on somebody else need to feel loved and protected. That's the situation from which they go on to learn more of appropriate behaviors. We know that there are many ways to communicate to children that biting isn't okay. One of the most important ways to children is through our emotions. And that's why I say with feeling, biting hurts. That hurts. Look at their face. I'm trying to communicate the emotion because I know that's what children pick up on very strongly. That helps children know that biting is not okay. We don't necessarily need to say, no, that's not okay, no biting. We can let them know very strong ways with our emotions that biting is not okay.